Hello everyone. Today I will be teaching you about polymorphism in Java. So, what is polymorphism? Polymorphism is derived from two Greek words, poly and morphs. The word poly means many, and morphs means forms. So polymorphism means many forms. Polymorphism is an ability that allows an entity to take multiple forms. Let me show you a real-life example of polymorphism. A young adult can have different roles in life. He can be a student, but at the same time is a child, an athlete, and an employee of a company. This same person has different behaviors depending on the situation. Another example I can give is a video game. Video games can take different forms because each game is different from one another. Such games as Valorant, Counter-Strike Global Offensive, League of Legends, Among Us, they're all video games, but they take a form as a different genre of video game. So now, let's talk about the two types of polymorphism in Java. The two types of polymorphism in Java are static polymorphism and dynamic polymorphism. First, let's talk about static polymorphism, or also known as compile-time polymorphism. An example of this is method overloading. Method overloading allows a class to include two or more methods to have the same name but have different parameters. To understand this better, I will show you a code example. So here we are on Eclipse, and we'd like to create a new Java project. And you can name this whatever you want, but for me, I'm going to name this test. Next. And I will just uncheck create module info Java file. There. Then, over on our source folder, we'd like to create a new class. And for this class, I'm going to name it subtraction, as this is the class that I would use for this sample code. So go ahead and hit finish. So as you can see, we have our class subtraction, and we would like to create a method static int subtract. And within this method, we're gonna put in the parameters int a and int b. And within this method, we would like to return the values a minus b. You can see here. So we're done with our first method. Next method, same method, but this time in our parameters we're gonna add three parameters: int a, int b, and int c. And within that method, we'd like to return a minus b minus c. So we're done with our first class. And now we'd like to create a new class, which is my main method, my main class. So over here we have our main class. Put public static void main actual. Alright. Then what we would like to do is we would like to print out the values of our methods. So system.out.println subtraction.subtract, and we would like to put the values or the numbers for our parameters. So I will put 8 and 4. Close that one. And for our second method, same thing. But this time we will input 3 numbers, as for our other method has 3 parameters. So I'll put in 83, 39, and 10. So now that you have both of your classes. Go ahead and save and click run. So as you can see, 8 minus 4, 4, 83 minus 39 minus 10, 34. So again, method overloading is when you have the same methods with the same names, but they have different parameters. Now, let's talk about dynamic polymorphism, or also known as runtime polymorphism. An example of this is method overriding. Method overriding allows a subclass or a child class to do specific functions of a method that's already provided by its superclass or parent class. To understand this better, I will show you a code example. Remember the video game example I used earlier? Let's use that in our sample code. So now back on Eclipse, we'll create a new Java project again. So that under the source, we'll create a new class. For this class, I will create a class called game. So here we have our class game, and for this I would want to create a method. So public void video game. And the reason why we're using public void is because we're not returning anything. We just simply want to print something out. System.print line are playing game. So here we are playing a video game. Then we'll close it. So now we'd like to create our main class. So public static void main string args. For this one, we are going to create an object. So game g equals new game. And we'd like to call the method video game, so g that video game. Forgot the, and there we go. Now I'd like to hit save, run it. So as you can see, prints out you are playing a video game, since we called out the method the video game, which contains the print line you are playing a video game. So let's say we will create a class, but let's call it an actual video game, such as Valorant. So what we could do is we could also just simply copy and paste this, put it on the under class Valorant, and it would run the same thing. You're playing a video game. But what we could do is we could use inheritance, which could extend game. So class Valorant extends game. So anything under any methods under game will be recognized by class Valorant and will be run. So try game P, change this Valorant. Now we'll hit save and then run it. It says you are playing a video game. But what if we want Valorant to say something else? So do override the method, and in which case we'll type in system.out.print line, and over here let's say you are playing Valorant. So let's change this back to Valorant. So So as you can see, when you hit save, click on run, it will say you are playing Valorant. So we could change this back game, and we can create a new object called Valorant. And we could call the method video game. There, save it. So now it calls g.videogame, which is you are playing a video game and you are playing Valorant. And we can add another class, say League of Legends, and game, then public void video game, their print line, you are playing of Legend. So now we have our print lines. Then we have to create another object, ball L equals ball, and another call method video game. Then now hit save, run it. Now it says you are playing a video game, you are playing Valorant, you are playing League of Legends. So in this sample code, what happens is that it overrides the method video game to replace it with something else. Even though it uses the same method, it uses overriding to implement its own functions within that method. So that's the end of my Java polymorphism tutorial. I hope you learned something today, and I'll see you later. Peace.